We're here with Chaz Wood, the president of the Stony Creek Anglers today, and we're going to learn all about the nursery, the fish nursery where they raise the trout. Chaz, good to see you.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to give you a little in-depth about our raceway, our trout nursery in Stony Creek Anglers. The water source that we're gaining here comes from a well that's 700 yards away. It's called number 6. It was refitted with all the necessary equipment to pull the water out of the ground and bring it over here 700 yards to come down. It has to go through a degassing column, which goes up this pipe. It comes down through a series of 7 buckets. Inside the buckets we have a set of widgets. The problem with water coming out of the ground is it has no oxygen in it. So in order to start the process, we have to have oxygen in the water. So the more times water breaks the surface, the more oxygen we will get. So each one of these buckets is filled with hundreds of these little things with all kinds of sides on them and circles and many surfaces. So every time it's breaking the water, the degassing column does 2 factors. It takes nitrogen out of the water, out of the groundwater, which is detrimental to the fish. If the fish were to get the nitrogen in them, they would get a disease called pop eye that makes their eyes bulge, similar to a black molly fish if you've ever seen one. So we incurred that problem before we installed this system. But this works very, very well. It's over 7 feet tall. We pump 126 gallons a minute. It's 51 degrees year-round. It's popping cold in the summer. If you come here in the winter and you look down the raceway, it's actually got steam coming off it because the water temperature is warmer than the air surface. A couple other factors on the water. It is good tasting. It is the best water I've ever tasted. A lot of us drink it. We give it to the pets out that are here. We have water on hand for the dogs that pass by all the time. A couple factors about the raceway. It's 200 feet long. It's stepped down like a set of steps. After every 25 feet, it drops 1 foot. In the center, at the 4th pen down, it drops 2 feet in order to conform with the contour of the ground. The pens are 3 feet wide. They're 3 feet deep. The material is very interesting. It's state-of-the-art. It's the first race that it was built with gunite, which is swimming pool material. And what is that done is a trench is dug. It's formed with rebar, and then it is shot. Ours was shot during the winter, and as long as it's above 32 degrees, it can be sculpted into place. So in a 2-day process, they shot the floor all the way down 200 feet the first day. The second day, they shot the sides and sculpted all the keyways and formal fitting of the way the nursery is going to look. At that point in time, we had to cover it up. It was the middle of February. We had to use a couple tons of hay and special tarps to keep it so it would cure properly, and it came out very, very well. The water quality is excellent. We've got very, very minute traces of PCB, which is almost very, very little in there. A couple things about the raceway. We have 10,000 fish at the moment. These fish are going to be that allow extra oxygen to come in to each pen and help produce, which is already being done by the degassing column. This adds to the mix because 10,000 fish are going to chew up an awful lot of oxygen. So these are working 24/7. There's 4 of them per pen, and in each pen, usually about 1,500 to 2,000 fish. The fish are very small at the moment. One of the other unique features that we have are 24-hour belt feeders. That's these little boxes that are set on a timer, and inside there we pull the gate back, loaded with feed. It's set on a timer. Over 10 hours it'll dispense whatever the amount of food is there. There's 10 ounces of food or 20 ounces, whatever it is, and it's awfully small right now because the fish are very tiny. We have covers over the predators that could get them. Raccoons, minks, and herons are the big perpetrators for trout. One of the other neat designs that we picked up when we went to other nurseries, at the bottom of each pen, we have 4-inch cleanout valves. They do 2 purposes. At the bottom of these raceways, and each day we can turn these on twice a day and suck that feces right out. The unique thing is it can bypass all the others. Say we're in pen number 1, it'll bypass the other 7 pens, so none of the fish are ingesting the waste matter. The other thing is, if we needed to do maintenance on this pen, we can open this up and basically dry dock this one pen and do the maintenance while the water continues to flow around through the others and work that way. Also, each one of the at the end of each raceway is a waterfall. Again, that's with the stepping method to create more oxygen. And in the strip that's on the very top, there's a series of holes. And each time the water goes through the holes, now you're making more oxygen. So we can regulate the height. Right now, that seems to be a good height for the small fish. As the fish get bigger, we can add boards and raise the water level. Of course, they're going to need more room. But right now, the fish are small, and it's not a factor. They're also protected from going down into the other pens by a series of these small catch pens. But believe it or not, some of the fish are so small they can actually get through that half-inch hole that's there.
Wow.
We've had several end up in between there, but we quickly moved them along. But they're doing very well, and those things work excellent. We can move them out at any point in time. The raceway's power washed each year to remove the algae and anything that forms on it. It's also painted each year, and maintenance is performed on the covers. They're spring loaded so that they stay up, and when you're done, you can put them back down. They work pretty well. Some of the other unique factors are, in order to get over the other side so there's no damage, we have a crossover at each pen that you can walk on and allows you passage onto the other side.
And this has been, how long has this been working?
This broke ground in year 2000, and we had our first fish in the fall of 2000. We have now been up and running for 8 years now, and we've been doing very well. The first year we only raised 3,000 fish. We kept the number low just because we were experimental, and now we're our way up to 10,100, and the fish are growing very rapidly. With the temperature staying the same all the time, the fish are growing, believe it or not, at almost 2 inches a month. And the fish that you see in this raceway right now, we'll have to dump 3,000 of them the day after Thanksgiving. They'll already be 10 to 12 inches long, believe it or not. They're only 3 and 4 at the moment. But that's how it's going on the raceway. We're going to go down to the middle where the most drop-off of the ground is. And this is where we had to make an adjustment in the construction, and we had to go down exactly 2 feet because the lay of the land wouldn't allow the pitch to keep. 3 varieties, actually 4. We have rainbow trout, we have a golden rainbow trout, which people call palominos, and they're yellow in color. And then we have the state fish, which is our brook trout, and we have the brown trout. The way they're set up is the way they habits that they like to eat. In the first 3 pens, we have the rainbows. The second 2 pens, we have the browns, which traditionally like to eat at night and are better feeders in the evening because they're more nocturnal. They feed at night and seem to be better eating in the evening. The next pen is our holdovers, which are fish that we hold over for 1 year for our trout tournament. Right now they're in there probably from 14 inches to 20 inches. And those fish will be used in our tournament come April. Those fish will all be at least 20 to 26 inches. There'll be some bruisers in there, probably anywhere from 5 to 7 pounds. Those fish will get extremely large. The next pens down, the next 3, have our brook trout in it.
This is why they call it state of the art. This is unbelievable.
This has been very well thought out. It is a very good raceway. It's a good producer. It is the only one in Montgomery County, and someday we'd like it to be maybe
here comes some visitors.
Plenty of people
have a lot of visitors come by here and learn
plenty
about
of people that
this.
are walking along the trail,
Right.
see the signs and stuff.
Well, it's a great education thing. Right. I mean, I've always said from the beginning that this was solving world hunger. This which it is, with a little bit of love and a little bit of work, could create a, I mean, if people come to catch the fish, and they can eat them. That's the thing. And I guess they're good eating, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Yesterday we had 2 groups from Norristown High School came by yesterday with Josh Wexler. Brought 2 different groups over. I think there were 26 in the morning, and then an hour later he came back. He had another 13 or 14. So he was very encouraged about it. The kids learned all about the raceway. We're able to stock all the streams that are in Montgomery County, where we have to consolidate our fish only to this county because that's the rules. We have to play by them. We're associated with the Fish and Boat Commission. They supply the fingerlings at no cost to us. The club raises the money for the food and the upkeep and the raising of the fish. So we can consequently put them in Lower Mere Park, which is the Pennypacker Creek. We can put them in the Skipback Creek, Stony Creek, Kepner Creek. We do the Perkiomen Creek, We also do 3 large ponds. We do Bob White Pond in Upper Marion behind the police station. We do Plymouth Town Park over on Germantown, and that's a very good one there. And we're also looking at a pond over in Bluebell, and it hasn't come out yet, but possibly working with the Ambler Boy Scouts, we're trying to secure a possibility to go in there in next year and do a kids program. But all in all, the nursery has been very, very well. Has been a very, very good item, and has really held our club together.
This pond here was a support from Senator Connie Williams, I believe.
That's correct. We had a $10,000 grant to put this together. Senator was very encouraged about helping us out. She got us the money to go ahead and install that.
Well,
for the back work
she was a very, very intelligent person, and I knew her personally, and she was a great supporter of the environment. Well, look, Chaz, I don't want to take up your whole day. I think this is great. One of the reasons I'm doing this is that I want to be able to get this out in a different arena so that we can really understand what a great job this is. Thank you.